Hello again everybody, today I'm back and today I'm going to be doing a bit of a BookTubeAthon update and the daily challenge for day 6. So I was hoping to do more of the challenges over the course of the week, but you know how it goes, the week got away with me, lost track of time, and actually I'm quite ashamed to say I've not read that much this week yet. So having shown you what I was reading last week, I talked about how a lot of them were quite short or quite easy things to read that I should be able to rocket through super quickly. Yeah, that's not quite how it's gone in the end. So currently I've read 1 3/4 books. One of them was a short book, and the one I'm now reading is probably one of the easiest to read. So I've got a lot left to go for myself. It's about midday on Saturday as I'm recording this, so I've got 36 hours left. I'm hopefully going to try and read 3 more and at least get all the challenges done, aside from perhaps not quite reading 7 books. That feels like a big task at this point. I've got some massive books ahead of me, but we'll see how it goes. I'm really enjoying doing this. It's great. There's so much conversation on Twitter and on YouTube and everywhere about this, and I'm absolutely loving that, to really interact with the community in a much wider way than normally possible, and it's such a pleasure to be doing it, and I'm really, really excited to be involved. So today, the main thing that we're doing today is the daily video challenge that's been set by BooksandQuills today on the main BookTubeAthon channel. And it's a really cool one today. I've been looking at all the videos this week and I thought I'll do 1 or 2 this week, and this is the one that I've been like, yeah, this is a brilliant idea. Basically, I'll leave a link down below to the video explaining what it all is, but the general gist is that you use some of the book collection you've got to plan almost a literary road trip. That's how Sanne has described it, and it's basically picking out the locations, whether real world or otherwise, from your books that you'd want to go on your magical road trip if you could. So anyone that's been watching this channel for a while will know that a lot of what I read is fantasy or sci-fi and not really very based in the real world, but it would be too easy and too long for me to start listing all the magical make-believe places I'd like to visit. So today I'm going to be using the books set in the real world that I've got and putting together a little map of the places I would love to visit all around the world. Some of the books I'd completely forgotten I'd read or had such interesting settings, but I'm really excited to show you my literary road trip. So obviously I'm based in London, otherwise a London book would probably be on there. But the kind of first place that I've recently read about that really hooked me, that is quite near to London, is in The Strings of Murder, and this is based in Edinburgh. It's Victorian Edinburgh, so it's a really cool, murky, gothic environment. But I know many people have raved about Edinburgh as a city, and it's somewhere I'd love to visit. This book really gets a really good sense of what Edinburgh was like then, and I'd just be fascinated to visit that. While I'm up north in that direction, I'd then jump across to the setting of The Farm. So actually, I know what you're going to be thinking. This is a psychological thriller, and basically a lot of it is set in Sweden. And the bit of Sweden it's set in is a kind of creepy, murky village where it's all a little bit corrupt. There's lots of questionable things going on. You don't really know what the situation is there, but still the way the environments are described and the landscapes makes it sound incredible. So after that we're moving south back into mainland Europe, and I want to visit the setting of All the Light We Cannot See, which is kind of on the northern coast of France. And it's, as you can see from the cover is beautiful on this. It's a really interesting, quite picturesque setting for a really quite dark, turbulent story in this book, but the actual setting itself looks amazing. I've heard people that I know that have been there and visited, and they've raved about how beautiful it is, and I'd love to stop in there. Continuing southwards through Europe, we're going to Barcelona for The Shadow of the Wind. This is probably the number 1 city I want to go to next on my list. I did interrailing last year and covered a lot of the places I really, really wanted to visit, a lot of the cool European cities. Barcelona I didn't make it to, and that's so high on the list of places to go to. And in this, again, it's really well captured. It's quite a murky, retro Barcelona portrayed in this, but it's still such a beautiful city. This is where the big jumps start. So nextly, I would love to go to China, which is where The Fire Maker by Peter May is set. This does quite well of capturing bits of Chinese culture, but this was set in the 90s, and I think things have changed quite a bit by now. But I think it's just a really interesting culture. I find Asia fascinating. And I don't know whether I'd enjoy being in China, but I would love to go and see what it's like. I think it's a fascinating culture, so alien to what culture is like for us in London at the moment, for example. I think it's very different to what it's like in China, but I'd love to go and see what it's like. While we're over that direction, I would like to go to the setting of the next book, which is New Zealand, and that's where The Night Guest is set. Now, I'm one of those people that's never had the hype to go to Australia, Basically, there's too many things I think they can kill you there, and that kind of puts me off a little bit about going to Australia. But New Zealand, I think, is a really interesting place. It's a really beautiful country, and it's something that's still a little bit less explored, but while I'm on the other side of the world in China, I may as well stop in at New Zealand while I'm there. And then continuing the trip around the globe, I would finish off in California, which is where the Circle is set. So the Circle's set in a kind of Silicon Valley, Google headquarters style, really elaborate, technological California. But I think it's a beautiful place to go. I've always wanted to go to California and travel more of America. I've been to Chicago, but not done the full kind of tour. And I would love to just road trip across America. But California is definitely very high up on my places to visit. And in this, it's such an interesting, kind of really energetic setting that it'd be great to visit. So there we have it. That's my literary road trip, which you would have to use a lot more than just roads to get there because it's pretty well spread out. Covers all the places I'd love to go, really the entire globe, essentially. And I think it's just fascinating to see so many of the books that I've mentioned today. I'd not really thought about the settings for a while, and this was a perfect thing to be doing that. It's a great idea. I've linked the video down below to the BookTubeAthon. You should subscribe and look at all the stuff going on there. It's a brilliant thing that's happening, and if you're watching this and you don't know what it is, definitely give it a look. I think you'd love it. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe if you've enjoyed, and comment with what your ideal literary destinations would be. There's so many amazing ones that I've probably completely forgotten about, and I'd love to know what you guys think. And other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon with my next video.